Have you ever gotten to TSA, felt totally fine, and then they wave you over like, yep, come with me? And you're standing there thinking, for what? I'm doing everything right. For travelers over 60, that little detour doesn't feel minor. It spikes the stress. And one small delay can snowball into missed connections, missed plans, or missing something that actually matters. So today I'm breaking down 12 things that quietly trip up older travelers on airport days, especially at security, and the quick fixes that keep you out of the side lane. We're counting down from number 12 to number 1, and number 1 is free, takes minutes, and can completely change how your checkpoint goes. Secret number 12 starts earlier than most people think, because it's the part everyone assumes someone is watching, but they're not. A lot of travelers over 60 walk into the airport thinking TSA is in charge of their check bag. Like once it disappears behind the counter, somebody official is watching it the whole way. That's not how it works. TSA may screen your suitcase for security, but they're not tracking it like a delivery app. Once your bag gets tagged and goes on that belt, it's in the airline system, barcode-driven, automated, and moving fast. And this matters because when a bag goes missing, a lot of people file a complaint with TSA, and TSA can't really do much. The airline has the tracking, the claim process, and the reimbursement timeline. So filing it in the wrong place just adds an extra lap to a problem you didn't need. Most bag problems in the airline system come from the same usual stuff: a wrinkled tag that won't scan cleanly, an old tag still hanging on that points to a different city, a tight connection where you sprint to the gate and make it, and your suitcase doesn't. At big hubs, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, where thousands of bags are flying through the back hallways at once, one tiny mistake can turn into a "where did it go" situation. So, here's the 20-second habit that prevents most of this. Before you leave the counter, strip off every old tag and sticker. Look at the airport code on the new tag and make sure it matches where you're actually going. Snap one photo of your suitcase and one photo of the tag. And keep the things that would ruin your day if they disappear: meds, wallet, phone, chargers, on your body or in your carry-on. And yes, drop an AirTag inside if you have one. It turns "we're still looking" into "it's right there." That was only the first hurdle, because once you reach the checkpoint, the attention shifts off your suitcase and onto you. The second you look even a little flustered in the TSA line, their attention shifts. You step up, hand over your ID, and suddenly it's "step over here for a moment." In a crowded checkpoint, officers are scanning for visible signs that something's off: nervous energy, sweating, shaky hands, confusion, someone who keeps looking behind them, even a heavy coat when it's hot. And once you get pulled aside, the clock gets expensive fast. The problem is, if you're over 60, you can accidentally check those boxes for totally normal reasons. Low blood sugar can make you sweaty and foggy. A tremor can look like nerves. New hearing aids, a cane, a CPAP bag, knee pain, any of that can make you move differently in a line that's already chaotic. I've seen it in a morning rush in Dallas. An older guy wasn't acting suspicious. He was trying not to pass out. Here's the move that helps more than people expect. Before you even step into the line, give your body a chance to be steady. Bathroom, a sip of water, a quick snack if you need it. Then keep your energy simple. Answer what they asked, not the whole backstory. Hands visible, voice calm, eyes forward. And if you know you have something that makes you shake, say it early. One sentence, friendly tone. Just a heads up, I have a medical condition that can make my hands tremble. I'm happy to follow whatever you need. And even if you pay for the faster experience, Secret 10 explains how that perk can still vanish when you least expect it. You know that little TSA PreCheck indicator on your boarding pass? Secret number 10 is this: even with an active membership, sometimes it doesn't show up. And you walk up expecting the easy lane, then get redirected like, "Nope, standard line today." PreCheck isn't something you can talk your way into at the entrance. It's literally a tag on your boarding pass. No tag, no lane. When that happens, it feels personal, but it's usually just a systems thing. Your known traveler number didn't attach to that reservation. Your name details don't match perfectly. Middle name, hyphen, junior. or a third-party booking didn't carry the info over. And yes, once in a while, you can be enrolled and still not get PreCheck on a specific trip. PreCheck has a talent for ghosting you at the exact moment you're feeling confident. So take 2 minutes the night before your flight, and again right after check-in, to look for that PreCheck marking. 2 minutes now can save you from a full hour of standing in line later. If it's missing, fix it while you still have time. Open your airline profile. Make sure your known traveler number is saved, then confirm it's attached to that specific booking. Already at the airport? Ask the airline to reissue the boarding pass with the number properly applied. Has PreCheck ever disappeared on you at the airport? If it did, tell me where it happened and what airline. If there's a pattern, I'll pin it. Because the next secret isn't about which lane you're in. It's about the drama at the ID check desk. And that's where a lot of people get surprised. Did you know at some airports, the ID check may include a camera and a quick facial match, and you might not realize it's optional? This isn't sci-fi. It's part of how a lot of checkpoints verify identity now, using newer equipment that does a quick facial comparison. Now, here's why this catches a lot of seniors off guard. Most of your life, the ID check was simple. You hand it over, they glance, you move on. So when there's a camera involved, it can feel like the rules changed overnight. And if you're even a little tired, the match can get picky. A 5 a.m. wake up, a red eye, dry eyes, puffy face, a little stress. You can look different without doing anything wrong. Then what should have been quick turns into the slow version of just show your ID. Extra questions, a longer pause, and sometimes a manual check that eats the time you thought you had. So if you want a practical edge, give them 2 clean seconds. Lift the wide brim hat, adjust the dark sunglasses, look where they direct you, and keep it moving. And if you're not fine with the camera, say it in a neutral tone. I'd like to do the regular manual ID check, please. And secret number 8 explains why this whole process feels way harsher during peak travel weeks, when every small delay turns into a pileup. Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, spring break. This is when the checkpoint has a lower tolerance for anything even slightly questionable. The system is packed, everyone's trying to move fast, and those borderline items that might slide on a normal Tuesday suddenly get a hard no. That tiny Swiss Army knife on your keychain. A random tool you forgot in a side pocket. A spray you haven't thought about in months. During peak weeks, those don't get lucky. They get noticed. And once one bag gets pulled, the whole line doesn't just slow down. It stops. One small delay becomes a bigger delay, then it stacks. Seniors take the hit the hardest because standing still in a frozen line is rough. Sore back, bad knees, low patience, rising stress, and that's when the next mistakes happen. Phone left in a bin, jacket forgotten on the table, a sharp tone you didn't mean to use because you're exhausted. So here's how you lower your odds of getting stuck. First, do a fast reset before you leave home. Empty pockets, check your keychain, and open every little zipper pocket like you're looking for spare change, because that's where the problem items hide. Second, if you're unsure about anything, don't gamble. Use TSA's What Can I Bring tool and get your answer before you're standing at the bins. And third, if you're traveling for something you can't miss, a wedding, a graduation, a milestone birthday, don't fly in the same day. Arrive the day before, so one checkpoint pileup can't steal the moment. And speaking of getting pulled, secret number 7 is about that random selection that doesn't feel random when it keeps happening to the same people. Sometimes the random part has 4 letters. If you ever see SSSS on a boarding pass, it means secondary security screening selection, and it usually turns a normal airport routine into the slow lane. Extra swabs on your hands and bag. More questions. More time standing there while everyone else keeps flowing around you. Here's what catches people off guard. TSA says it uses random, unpredictable measures. So you can get SSSS even if you're enrolled, and it can show up more than once. So if this keeps happening, you're not crazy for noticing a pattern. But do you know why it can feel like it hits seniors so often? Often it comes down to identity data getting tangled. Common names, similar birth dates, name formatting differences, or your information resembling someone else's record in the system. And at the checkpoint, you won't get a satisfying explanation. The officers aren't there to debate it. They're there to complete the process. So treat SSSS like weather. You can't argue it away, so you plan around it. Build extra time, keep your essentials easy to access, and don't bury your medical items under a suitcase archaeology project. Then, take the real step that actually helps. File a case through DHS Trip so you can get a redress number and add it to future bookings. That's the closest thing to a reset button when your identity keeps getting mixed up. And once you're at the checkpoint, there's another surprise most people don't realize until it's too late. What confiscated really means, and what choices you actually have at that moment. Secret 6 hits when you're already under pressure. An officer holds your item up and says, "This can't go." And in your head, that instantly turns into, "So, you're taking it. It's gone." The line is stacked behind you. The bins keep moving and your brain does the panic math. If I argue, I'm going to miss my flight. So you wave it off like it doesn't matter, even if it does. Fine, keep it. I just need to get on the plane. That's the moment seniors get burned. Not because they brought something terrible, but because the situation pushes you to make a fast decision under pressure. But the truth is, not allowed in your carry-on doesn't automatically mean gone forever. Depending on the airport and the item, you may have options. You can take it back to your car, hand it to someone you're traveling with, use a mail-back shipping kiosk, or step out and check it. If you still have time and your airline can accept a bag, once you abandon it, it's out of your hands and gets processed through the airport's lost property or surplus disposal system. So instead of debating rules or panicking, use one question that keeps you in control. What are my options here? And that's the small stuff version of trouble. The next secrets are where it gets real, because now we're talking about things you can't replace easily. Your privacy, your money, and sometimes the medication you need to get through the day. Secret 5 is what I call bin panic, and it's one of the most common ways older travelers accidentally create their own TSA problem without bringing anything illegal. You're doing fine until the bins start. Shoes in one tray, jacket in another, keys in a third, glasses and hearing aid case floating somewhere in the middle. The belt keeps moving. The people behind you are stacking up, and now you're trying to rebuild your life at the end of the conveyor like you're playing airport Tetris. That's when things go wrong. A hearing aid case gets left behind. Your phone gets separated from your wallet. And the worst part? If you realize something is missing, you don't just take your time. You end up stepping back into the flow, asking officers, creating a little traffic jam. And traffic jams attract attention. Seniors get hit hardest here because there are often more small items, and when your back hurts and your knees are screaming, you move faster than your brain wants to, so you scatter. The quick fix is giving yourself one launch pouch, a small zip pouch, anything, that exists for exactly one job: keys, watch, earbuds, hair clips, hearing aid case. Before you even reach the front of the line, everything small goes into that pouch, and the pouch goes into your carry-on. No loose items, no treasure hunt. Then keep your world in one bin when you can. Fewer trays means fewer chances for something to get separated. And right before you walk away from the table, do a 3-point check: phone, wallet, ID. If you need a second to put your belt on or lace up, step to the side after you've confirmed you have everything. Don't rebuild your outfit in the exit lane. And if bin panic already feels like a lot, wait until TSA moves you into a private room, because that's when things get uncomfortable fast. Secret 4 doesn't look dramatic from the outside. You're at the checkpoint. Something gets flagged. You ask a question. Your tone gets a little sharp. And from there, you're not in the normal flow anymore. You get moved to a side area. Maybe a small room, maybe just behind a partition, and everything slows down. The line keeps moving without you, and now you're stuck in the process. More waiting, more questions, more repeating yourself. Here's what people miss. The screening isn't always the delay. The back and forth is. So don't debate in the lane. Keep your voice steady, follow the instructions, and if you need help, use one sentence that de-escalates without giving up your rights. I'm happy to follow instructions. Can I speak with a supervisor, please? And if you get moved aside and you're confused, stay calm and ask, what's the next step for me? Because your tone can be the difference between walking straight through and losing a chunk of your day to a conversation that didn't need to happen. If your brain's getting a little tired from all this, hang with me for one more. Because secret number 3 can wreck an entire trip if you rely on medication or medical equipment. If you take daily meds or travel with medical gear, this is the part to pay attention to, because one messy bag can turn a normal screening into a long, frustrating pause. At the checkpoint, TSA sees a lot of pills. The difference is whether your medication is easy to understand at a glance. And when your meds aren't easy to verify, you can get stuck in that slow, awkward limbo where they need extra screening, extra questions, maybe a supervisor, while you're trying to catch a flight and keep your body on schedule. The biggest trigger is packing style. A pill organizer is convenient, but it can also turn your meds into mystery pills to someone who has to follow a process. Same with loose bottles, unlabeled baggies, or mixing different meds into one container to save space. That might be normal at home. In a checkpoint, it reads like a question mark. So make your meds easy to screen. TSA doesn't require prescription bottles, but labels help. Keep at least one labeled bottle for your key prescriptions and bring a quick backup set. A photo on your phone of each prescription label, plus a printed list of your medications from your doctor or pharmacy. And pack everything in one small meds pouch so you can pull it out in 2 seconds. If you're traveling with medically necessary liquids or gels, declare them early. And if you have a CPAP or other medical device, say it calmly up front. I'm traveling with medically necessary items. It prevents that chaotic moment where you're explaining things mid-search. I'm curious. Are you a pillbox person, or do you keep everything in the original bottles until you land? Comment pillbox or bottles. I want to see what most people actually do. Because secret number 2 is where it stops being about what's in your bag and starts being about what's on your phone. There's a rumor that makes a lot of people tense before they even reach the gate. TSA can search your phone. Quick reality check. TSA isn't there to go through your messages. At a regular domestic checkpoint, TSA may ask you to take devices out, swab them, or power something on, but they don't ask you to unlock your phone or hand over access to what's inside. If you're flying internationally and coming back into the US, that's the one situation where this can come up, and it's not TSA, it's CBP. CBP says these device checks are rare, but they can happen during re-entry. And they basically have 2 levels. A basic search, where an officer manually looks through what's on the device, and an advanced search, which is more serious and requires extra approval. So the simple rule is, domestic checkpoint. TSA isn't asking to unlock your phone. Coming back into the US, CBP is the agency that can. And now we're down to secret number 1, the free move most seniors never use, even though it can make the whole checkpoint feel smoother and a lot more predictable from the start. If the checkpoint ever makes you feel like you're playing a game without knowing the rules, this is the free move that changes everything. TSA Cares lets you request help at the security checkpoint, often with a trained passenger support specialist who can guide you through screening when you have mobility issues, medical devices, anxiety, or anything that tends to get messy fast. It's not VIP, and it doesn't skip screening. It makes the process calmer and clearer. The key is doing it before travel day. TSA recommends requesting help at least 72 hours before departure. You can submit the TSA Cares form online or call TSA Cares at the number on your screen. Give them your flight details and tell them what you need. CPAP, medications, joint pain, hearing issues, anything that usually slows you down. Use it this way and you'll save a lot of hassle, but don't mix up TSA Cares with other assistance services. Because TSA Cares is about security screening, wheelchairs, getting to the gate, pre-boarding, that's airport assistance. The smoothest trips happen when you set up both, so you're covered from curb to gate instead of scrambling midway. That's the 12 secrets. And if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Most TS stress isn't about doing something wrong. It's the little friction points that hit older travelers harder. So before your next trip, set yourself up to win. Make your meds easy to verify. Keep the essentials on you. And if you have any mobility, medical, or anxiety concerns, use TSA Cares early. That one move alone can take the checkpoint from chaos to something you can actually handle in control. And I want to hear from you. What part of airport security frustrates you the most right now? Drop it in the comments, because your answers help shape what I cover next. If this helped, hit like so more travelers see it, and subscribe if you want practical, no-drama airport tips every week.